Alright, welcome in Grim Dawn community and YouTube. Today we're gonna check out the Primal Strike Ultos Elementalist. I just finished defeating Mogdrogen and also Ravager of Mines, as you can see here, as well as LOKARR earlier, and also did a SR 80 to 81 run, all of which you can check out at the end of this video. So what is this build? This is, well, Primal Strike and Savagery, actually both of them together in one build here in this Elementalist, because the Primal Strike set, or rather the Ultos set that like most people only like combine with Primal Strike, also supports Savagery pretty decently, and this allows us to get 16, 18, 8 in Savagery with 3 points in Might of the Bear for physical resistance, 25 points in Primal Strike, only 1 point in Torrent because you only really like max this out if you're spamming it. If you have this on a cooldown, you don't need to put points in Torrent. And then also Storm Surge maxed out, of course, because this one is very nice when you're also applying cooldown Primal Strike. Then of course a maxed out Brute Force for like HP and flat lightning damage, and then 1 point in Upheaval even, because well, you are playing Savagery in between, and then like this can proc from Savagery, not from Primal Strike, but it's kind of okay, and I do need like another thing to proc here, my Hand of Ultos actually, and this only procs when you crit, and Hand of Ultos like only procs when you crit as well, so like if this crits, then you're critting anyway, and then like always Ultos procs whenever this crits, right? So whenever you rather proc Upheaval in general, you always also will proc Hand of Ultos. 1 point in Totem and just 1 point in Blood Pact, basically for like additional leech, 5% leech here. You can also like put 2 points, like another point here for like 6% leech, that is also okay. Then 1 point in Wind Devil. The base skill is kind of bad. And then of course you want to max out Raging Tempest for the elemental resistance reduction, right? 34% here on the Raging Tempest, and then like 1 point in Maelstrom, because why not? It's like okay damage. You could also like pull this point here and like put it into Blood Pact, honestly, or like just put more points into Oak Skin. Mogdrogen's Pact line, we have like physical damage and regen on the base skill, then we have like more percent regen and percent HP and reduction in poison bleed damage on Heart of the Wild. Honestly, you can like put this down to 10 points as well and like just get more armor rather from Oak Skin. This is currently only at like 4 points, but I'm thinking about like putting it back to at least like 10 points again, because honestly like raw armor is like a weak spot on this build right now, and getting like raw damage, like raw armor rather, would like boost the defenses of this build by quite a bit, because we are like rocking low armor now and only like Fissures, but I mean the combination of armor and Fissures would be even better, of course. For the exclusive Stormcrawler's Pact, as high as possible, 19 points here in this case, for like crit damage and lightning damage, of course, and execute damage. I mean, like pretty much the only choice you have here and the only like good choice. Demolitionist side, 12 points in Flame Touched, 1 point in Temper. This is just like for offensive ability and percent lightning damage. And then, of course, also a max Vindictive Flame, because we are playing like regen heavy here, and this also gives us regeneration as well as total speed. Only 1 point in Uzin's Wrath right now. Damage reduction is always like a struggle to get, honestly, in lightning builds, and I really hope it will be a bit easier for lightning builds to like get better percent damage reduction on the next like patch, or like in the next expansion maybe even, or they like change Uzuin's Wrath to like actually hit enemies around you as well, because currently this like only hits enemies that are like further away from you. I mean, it has damage reduction, but it only works on targets that are like further away from you. It's like whenever you're, for example, like face sinking a Ravager, this doesn't affect Ravager ever, so it's kind of useless, unfortunately. 16 points on Thermite Mine, also for like max resistance reduction here. And then you want at least 5 points of Blast Shield. You can also put 10 points if you feel safer that way. The build is a little bit on the edge right now, I would say. I mean, on softcore this is totally fine. On hardcore I'm sweating a bit playing this build, honestly, because it is a lot better than like last patch. However, it is very low armor, as you can see, less than this back, which, well, like more points in Oak Skin would maybe fix, and also very low DA, which, well, more like DA from like gear could fix. Also like more points in Oak Skin would also like actually fix more DA. Like Oak Skin 10 points is just like really nice for armor and DA, but it is a bit hard to like get stuff higher up. I mean, honestly, with Savagery up, of course, you have like decent OA. Like you can also crit Celestials if you like pot up and like have the OA from Savagery. Let's actually hit the dummy here real quick so you like can see the values. Right, so if you have this OA, you have like 3.1k, that's a lot better. And then you like pop some pots on top, like either Heartseeker oil, right, for like OA, or you pop the Elixir to Drangul as well for OA, and then your OA is like acceptable for bossing at least. But yeah, otherwise like OA and DA is a bit low. And physical resistance at least is very good now on this build. 50% is very solid. That is pretty good, and Savagery does help with that too. The other thing for damage reduction that I'm actually using right now is the Storm Titan's proc, but it is also like only 10%, and I wish they would either like buff this one a bit, maybe like to 12 or 14%, that would help a bit for defense, or just like make, you know, as I said, like this skill like actually useful for like melee builds as well. That would be nice. For devotions, let's check them out. So we are running Crab, Behemoth, Ultos, of course Rowan's Crown, right, for threat and resistance reduction. I actually only have like 15 points in here right now, only 15 levels, so you will have more damage if you max this out. Obviously, like I'm missing 6% resistance reduction right here, right now, so we basically will have like 6% more overall damage, and when I actually like max this out. So if you're playing this at home and you hopefully have this maxed out, then you will basically get the same results as me, but like actually like around 6% or average like more damage on top. Also same for my procs, like they're not like, at least Arcane Barrier is not like maxed out yet, so I do have like less absorption here as well, only like 13 levels here, and only 18 levels in Turtles, so like maybe like part of my defenses being a bit bad right now is due to like these not like actually leveled out right now. And Tempest is leveled to the max, Arcane Bomb is leveled, Giant's Blood is leveled, and Ultos is leveled though. So like it's not about these, but the Crown, the Crab, and Turtle are like below max level. Anyway, on this patch, I mean always, of course you want Kraken, right, for 200s, and always you want Widow for lightning bolts. And then on this patch, Reckless Tempest is really nice, and Crab is really nice, and Turtle is really nice. So these could be like a bit meta dependent, and maybe like in a future patch wouldn't be quite as good as right now, but you will always have to use Kraken, you will always have to use Widow, and yeah, this is like what I'm using right now, like some regen mixed with like some defensive stuff, or like flavor of the month devotions like Crab and Turtle, and then Ultos for like % elemental resistance reduction as well. 2 points Berserker. The Ultos axe is an axe, obviously, and this gives you like more leech, more regen, more fizz res, like leech wire, like healing effects increase, and also like affects leech, and some attack, offensive ability rather, and health. And then attack speed from Jackal, and Lotus for like physical resistance, and also like more leech effectiveness. Yeah, that's basically it. Tempest is good in this case actually, because Tempest has very good uptime here on this build, because the set provides you tons of like cooldown reduction. Like usually Tempest is rather like a caster thing, and you rather like want to play it with an offhand because of the cooldown reduction. However, this set actually has very good CDR too, right? The weapon has CDR, the amulet has CDR, the helmet has CDR, so you have almost like caster like CDR, which is also like, yeah, 32% is like basically the same as a caster almost. And that's also why, for example, like Behemoth works so well, because the uptime on this like regeneration proc is very good here, and the uptime on Tempest is very good too. For the gear, obviously 5 piece Ultos, right? Self-explanatory there, and then 2 Goddess Rings. I'm using 1 Demonic for attack. Demonic obviously has no lightning damage, so this could be way better. Demonic is just kind of like there to like fix resistances, I think. Like what is this? Vitality and Pierce? Yeah, Vitality is kind of a problem, I guess, right now. I mean, I could like use a second Corpse Dust for like more regen. However, I'm using a Frozen Heart on the second ring here, because there's like one weak spot about this build actually. The Petrify and Freeze resistance, and also like Trap resistance, is honestly terrible on the set, or like in this build in general. And I feel like the set is better than last patch, yes, but if they like were to buff the set maybe a bit, like for example, like take a look at these stats, like what the fuck is this? This is so bad right now. I'm already like using Mark of the Shadow for slow res. I'm already like using Shades of Autorun for like trap res. And I'm using like 1 Frozen Heart for like Petrify and Freeze res. And whenever you're like fighting something that actually can freeze you, you should always like use a Hoarfrost ointment on top. For like Musilaki, for example, in the Shattered Realm, or like when you go to LOKARR, like through the like rocks that freeze you, right? You kind of like want to use a Hoarfrost ointment on this build, which is something you don't necessarily want to use all the time, but unfortunately you have to on this one. Second ring is a Warding of Scorched Runes. I mean, Warding is there for the Aether resistance as well. So you can see like I am fixing my resistances a little bit with these green rings, of course. But I mean, there are like many affixes that can help you out here. And these are like not even close to like the best in slot affixes that you can get, obviously. This is like a magic prefix. You can have like so much better gear here. This is like by no means like the one that you have to absolutely take and use, and otherwise the build won't work. There's like many affixes that can work here, just like mix and match them properly. The gloves are Demonic of the Aether Storms, however. This one, I'll have to say, is a craftable pair of gloves, and you will have to craft tons of gloves to get to this one or something similar, because this is a rare prefix and a rare suffix, and the rare suffix also has attack speed on top and even lightning damage as well on top. So these gloves are, I know, like very hard to get in a way. On the other hand, you can just like craft and craft and craft and craft. You just need iron bits and scrap for that, basically. So you can like farm these still, like I think easier than like some like monster frequent, for example, with like triple rare affixes. This is definitely like easier to get than like a triple rare like Golos ring, that's for sure. And I mean, if you have like better Golos rings, then you don't necessarily like need a demonic prefix here, for example. For boots, I'm using Storm Titan Dreads, as like mentioned earlier, right? This is like for Promise Strike stuff, and like the proc, the Storm Titan proc, that gives you damage reduction on enemies, which in my opinion is like a bit too low, but I mean that's what it is. Korvax's brand is, if you're playing Savagery, basically like the best metal. If you're playing spam Promise Strike here and you don't want to play Savagery, you can also use the, I think it's called like Mark of the Farseer or something like that, which basically like supports Promise Strike instead. That would be better if you like only focused on Promise Strike. However, if you like right now take out Savagery on this build right here, then it would like lose some physical resistance, it would like lose some regeneration, so it would like feel a bit squishier overall, and you would have to probably do a like larger change to the build. The belt, Tinker's Ingenuity. This one actually is pretty decent on this one, in my opinion. It gives you like some percent armor from the craft, I think. And it has regeneration and all damage, which is also lightning damage and electrocute damage. So it does give you some damage, not as much as like some proper lightning belt would, but it also has like tons of regeneration, and it has like a regen proc that also procs whenever you like drop lower. So on a regen focused build like this one, which like runs around to like 4.6 or like 5.8 in combat, and then like whenever the procs all proc at the same time, you can have like over 10k regen here as well. So for a regen build like that, this build is pretty nice. Let's check out the regen here real quick, like if something hits me maybe here. And these guys have like not enough HP to even survive. What the fuck am I doing here? Okay, so we're getting hit by this guy, right? I have Savagery up and the Giant Spot running. I have like 9.4k regen right now, which, well, it's not as much as like an Avenger Water, and obviously we have like less armor and like a bit less physicals as well than Avenger Water. This is a overall squishier and overall also just like weaker class or like weaker build than an Avenger Water. However, the regen is still very respectable and overall like a lot better than it used to be, at least. The pants are Mighty of the Nature's Bounty, which, well, is actually a pretty good role in this case. Mighty giving you like percent physique, which is not like the best, but it's okay. And Nature's Bounty is really nice because you get like plus 3 points to Heart of the Wild, and you get some additional like regen on top. So yeah. And also the base item itself gives you like plus 3 to tenacity of the boar as well. Alternatively, you could also play like Dreeks, like Dreek Sect Legguards, that's also pretty nice too. They have like regen and OA and also vitality resistance by default, helping you out on like those 3 ends, and then you can get like affixes on top, like also Nature's Bounty suffix, for example, would be very nice on the Rig too. Anyway, the build is pretty fun, and I mean, I would rather suggest it for hardcore, for softcore rather than for hardcore in general. But I mean, if you are like skilled enough and you just want to play something like this, you can also play this on like hardcore. And I mean, the double kill time, as you can see, is like pretty quick, like it's like 12-13 seconds. The damage is great, the AoE damage is great, and you can do like most content for Kalagaja. I think this build just has not enough armor, not enough DA, but if you like play it really well, you could even like defeat Kalagaja. Something like the Creative Entertainment boss is, I think, out of the questionable like this, but that's kind of fine. The build is rather like made for like having flashy fun and like having great AoE damage, like farming Shattered Realm 75 to 76, or maybe like farming the Crucible as well. Stuff like that is, I think, where the build would shine more. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll let the gameplay clips run now, so you can enjoy me fighting like LOKARR, Ravager, Mogdrogen, and of course SR 80 to 81. Thanks for watching.
Well done. well done.
Thank you so much for watching. Remember to check out and expand the description below for Grimthrow's links and related playlists. Shout out to all of my supporters on Patreon, YouTube and Twitch. Without you guys, this channel wouldn't even exist. If you are new to this channel and you like my content, feel free to like, subscribe and head over to my Patreon to support me. All of your support will be used to create more Grim Dawn guides on YouTube like this, as well as additional Grim Dawn content for the upcoming community seasons. If you haven't heard of or played a community season yet, you can do so at any point, even when it's offline, via the website grimdawnleague.com. I hope you enjoy the content, and I'll see you around on the next one.